Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Brandify Take One Rendezvous with Nandita. This week, I have with me a lady here who is an educationist and a founder of Socio, an organization working extensively in the social economic learning space, the need of the hour, I believe. A social entrepreneur who works closely with children, parents, teachers, professionals on topics which are extremely pertinent today, which are communication, gender, sexuality, diversity, and inclusion. She's a guest faculty in business and journalism schools, an independent media contributor, uh, a superwoman who has some amazing energy. I welcome Aparna Vishwanath for the session today. Hi, Aparna.
Hi, Nandita.
How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And how have you been?
I've been good. So, Aparna, tell me something before I start with your journey and all that. I'm going to go a little in the reverse order for this interaction today. Inclusion, talking about gender sensitivity, talking about mental health is the need of the hour. So, what made you start all this? Let's start from there.
Oh God, okay, it's a long story. I'll try and make it as short as possible.
No, no,
I
no.
think I was raised in a household with very independent and strong women, and never in my growing up years actually had I faced gender discrimination. I have a twin brother, so we're two twins. So my parents, I think that way were very adamant that they should bring both the children alike. So there was never a mention of a girl or a woman or a lady. So I never knew what gender discrimination was until I joined an all women's college. And there you had reminders in every form, shape, and every now and then. And then it was very hard for me to even begin to think of how to make a change or how to bring about a change or where to start, because the rules were so strict and stringent there. In the final year of college, I stood for elections and became the president of the college. But even then, there was very little I could do then. But then the thought of actually working towards a gender equal space started then. And
Okay.
in 2004 is when I quit journalism for good and then began my entrepreneurial journey with my first firm, which was more into communication workshops, gender talks. But then it was after I had my child, my son, in 2005. And then 5 years after that, I went for my higher studies. And then my son was with my mom. And one day when I called him, he kind of started crying. And then when I asked him what happened, he said, I tripped and fell. And somebody who was sitting there very casually asked, why am I crying like a girl? So these are small, silly remarks that we consider as passing remarks in life, but then which had a huge impact, or maybe I would say scar on him. And he started questioning and asking me why are boys not allowed to cry, or why are girls called cry babies. And that is when I think my eyes really opened up to the reality that there are subtle reminders of gender in every household, which we may not take seriously, but then these are ingrained in our culture and tradition because we feel that it's part of us, isn't it? We welcomed it in every hue and color. So then I kind of started researching on what all subjects or where all do we kind of talk about these in schools. And then, I mean, unfortunately realized that there isn't anything called social emotional learning, which talks more about gender equality, which talks about being inclusive, the diverse, the culture and traditions and backgrounds that we come from, ecosystems that we come from, and then how do we embrace and include everyone into one fold. That's how the work began. And immediately after that, I launched Socio, which works extensively in this space.
Okay, that's a beautiful journey. So, was it easy? Were there any kickbacks or any people, those kind of things? Because I also know you don't only work with schools, but you also work with the not so privileged people of society. So that's what I want to understand. Was it easy or was it not so easy?
See, was it easy? Now, these are not subjects that people generally would welcome so
Hmm.
easily.
Yeah.
So there has been quite a lot of resistance from schools, I would say, to begin with, because management would generally ask, what is the need for all these things? Because
Okay.
you're so hell-bent on academics and grades and marks, you kind
Mm-hmm.
of completely ignore the emotional well-being or the mental well-being of a child. Now, if you have to have a strong adult in your later age, you need to start at the beginning. I mean, at a very young age. I think the first few years we were just there in the market. Yeah, as a company, we were just there trying to make some noise. But yeah,
Okay.
it took us quite a lot of time and quite some
Ah,
effort to kind of make people
okay.
understand the awareness campaigns through a
Hmm.
lot of discussions and bringing out examples, live examples, because
Okay.
we interact with close to 2,000 to 3,000 children every
Ah,
year.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so in
Ah,
schools, colleges, I mean, professionals, professional colleges, and even corporates. So the experiences that we listen to, the kind of stories that we listen to are very different, very interesting, at times very traumatic too. So putting these examples into our presentations, into our talks, bringing them onto the table to make them realize why is it the need of the hour. We've been trying to create a change, and I would say that the last 2 3 years we've been like quite welcome in the market. I mean, when I say the market, it's an ecosystem that we all belong to.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So there was one more question that you kind of asked me about
yeah.
the economically backward. Yeah. So
Mm,
we try to kind of reach out to maximum people,
mm,
and especially where training centers aren't a norm, or where training centers aren't accessible for students, especially the tribal belt.
mhm.
So yeah, we make it a point to run outreach programs and advocacy programs.
Okay.
So every year we run at least 5 or 6 such programs, so that, I mean, we kind of start our work at the grassroots level.
Okay, brilliant. That's awesome. So, you said, initial years you were just trying to create a noise and being an entrepreneur. Are you the first generation entrepreneur, or there have been instances of?
Absolutely, the first person from the family. My mom was
Okay.
a banker. My dad was into a marketing role with an MNC. My
Okay.
brother is again in a marketing role. He lives abroad.
Okay. Uh-huh.
We come from employed backgrounds, and this one I think I'm the first, yeah, first person in the family to take that plunge. But then
Okay.
I would say, Nandita, to be very frank, in 2004, when I say entrepreneur, people wouldn't even relate to that term. Oh, you run business? Yes, I run business. Now entrepreneurship is a buzzword.
Buzzword,
Everyone
yeah.
seems to be talking about entrepreneurship. Yes, I'm the first person from the family.
So, how difficult or easy was it? Again, you said your family, there was no discrimination between your brother and you, but culturally, and you come from the southern part of the country where there are a lot of women entrepreneurs today. But culturally, how easy, difficult? Did you have to push back? Did you have to fight it out with family, friends, and getting clients? Let me ask you
Immediate family, no. My parents always, I think, one thing that my parents have kind of, I mean, drilled into us is that if you believe in what you do, just go ahead. So there was
that. Okay.
no question of why are you getting into this. But then there
Yeah.
are, I mean, your neighborhood, you have this immediate
Yes.
ecosystem where people are just
Ah.
looking at reasons to pull you down.
Yeah.
And I moved out of journalism when I was the peak of my career. So people
Okay.
generally ask questions, why did she have to do that? She's coming. I mean, for some people, it's all about fame and being there on the screen. So I kind
Hmm.
of got disconnected with that very early in life, and now I feel,
Ah.
I mean, that is one of my best decisions in life, to move out of television. Yeah. So then there were a lot of people asking, why did she have to do that, and then getting into
Okay.
a space which is completely unknown, and then I had to take a break. And then research, build a material, build the company as such. But then I think, hats off to my partner Balu. He's been like with me through thick and thin. He said, if you believe in that, and I think he is the person who I would look up to when it comes to kind of respecting women's choices. Yeah. So there is
Ah.
never a question asked. So that is something that I would really really appreciate in a man.
Beautiful. So, entrepreneurial journey, let's get to that because I think that is one of my favorite topics. And I see a lot of, most businesses we hear close down in the first 2 years, right? So, what was your journey like as an entrepreneur? Some of the setbacks that you had, and what were your key learnings from
I've only had setbacks, Nandita. It's never been an easy
that?
journey.
Okay, if I can give you a hug for
Like,
that, Aparna, social distancing maintained, virtual hug.
absolutely. There are many days when I would just, wake up and sit on my bed and ask myself, why am I doing this? Why can't I just go back to a 9 to 5 job? So there are enough and more instances. But then I think, today I was talking to one of my students. Again, it was an interview. So she asked, "Ma'am, why didn't you ever give up?" So and she knows my struggle that social wasn't accepted in the beginning, and then it's only off late that people started talking so widely and hugely about social. So I said, see, one thing I was very clear from the beginning was the cause that I was holding on to, and I knew that somewhere people would realize what we stand for, and that though it took time, if I had given up then, I wouldn't have. Social wouldn't have reached anywhere. So
Right.
that is one. Yeah, that is one thing. And then, see, Nandita, everyone makes mistakes, and I think mistakes made or kind of made me realize my strength, I would say. So in between, I started at least 3 companies or 3 enterprises, which fell flat like that. Okay, lost money, lost I would say everything that I had. And then there was an instance, it's a very personal thing because it was a partnership concern. And then I was working with a very close friend of mine, and the partnership fell through. It actually took a huge toll on my mental health too, because then, see, I'm a very people person. So for me, more than materialistic things or company or anything, people matter a lot, be it relationships, be it my family, be it friends. People who know me that I'm a people person. So then I realized that we shouldn't get into a business where you are emotionally attached to a person, because then it's very difficult when you have to sit across the table and then, call out. It is very difficult. So that has been one big learning. Another thing is that, now people who are watching would laugh their heads off. I started an ice cream parlor, okay, some years ago. So then I
Where?
realized in Bangalore only.
Okay.
It did well, but then you know how it is, food business and something that I'm really not into. I don't have a background of it at all. So something that I realized with that experience is that it's better to go with what your core strength is and not venture out just because you feel that okay, you can maybe make a mark there. So that's been like an utter flop show.
Uh,
So I
Aman,
that was my primary concern, and then yeah, took it along. Yes.
so Aman, when you're sharing these stories, somewhere I feel you're talking about me because I started off again first woman in the house to do this, failed miserably. Okay, because I was passionate, I started doing because I believed in what I was doing. Started off again, and I also started off. I started off a spa with friends again. So I think when you were talking, I could actually the images going on in my
I think once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur.
So you said something which clicks very well with me. You said when you do it with friends or people you are emotionally connected with, business in particular, and if you're a people's person, it becomes very difficult to demand stuff. It becomes very difficult to put timelines and have a serious discussion, a
Absolutely.
non-emotional business discussion with somebody. So how do you manage it today, or what are you doing? Have you stopped working with friends, or how is it?
Uh, so, okay, now all this while it's been like very, very professionally managed show. I have 2 more partners in the sense with Socio, Prashant is one of the silent partners in the company. Now, Prashant and I know each other for about 11 years, but then very close friends. But then where you have the space to say, to call a spade a spade. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Now, of late, my twin brother has joined the company. So now, when you go back and ask about the emotional attachment, Yeah, so I think my hands were like too full, and I needed some support from the family, because somewhere along the way you realize that you've been in this field for the last 16 years, and you really don't want the company to suffer. Now the company has suffered. Now I have to give a small background to why I decided to bring my brother on board. I
Sure.
have had a cortical vein thrombotic attack some years ago, which actually paralyzed my professional and personal life for some time. And the medication that I was through actually had some serious repercussions for many years after that. So each time I fall ill, or I'm hospitalized, or I black out, then the company gets affected, because you don't have a second line of defense. I mean, it's just two or three of them who's working there. So now and then I think one led to another, last 10 years being like the worst phase of my life. I lost my mom, I lost my dad, so it's been one after the other. So my dad used to kind of advise me on a lot of things, though he was not on the advisory board. He was somebody who I used to look up to, and then go for any small issue in the company. Now after his death, I actually plunged into clinical depression. I had to go through, a year of therapy and sessions. And though I come from a space where I talk about mental and emotional health, I kind of realized the early signs of it and reached out for help, because I think mental health is equally important as physical health, or more important than physical health, I would say. Yes. So then I realized that, and when I was going through that phase for about 2 to 3 months, I actually decided to stay away from the company, from day-to-day operations, because I had operations.
Wow.
And then it would suffer, and that's when I took a break and went to my brother, who lives in Dubai, and spent some time with him. And I kind of took my heart out and kept there on the table for him to decide what next. So I think he kind of realized the strain on me, or the stress on me, business wise. And then he is the most professional person I have kind of come across, in I mean, so meticulous and organized. So he said, if you really feel that me joining the board would help, why not? And that's how he joined. And that's been the biggest blessing. Yes, emotionally, it's difficult, but then right now I say stay silent. He runs the show now.
That's nice. So, if you don't mind, I'll go deeper into what you said. You went through some emotional issues there. You went through mental health issues, and I think it's very courageous of you to actually talk about it. But not many people are open talking about it, though it is something which is happening rampantly across. We know people, but somewhere we just try to hide it. So my question is, with so much of pressure, one, you saying the last 10 years not being so good, you're going through mental health issues rather, and of course business. What is that one thing that makes you get up every morning and say, okay, back to work, back to business, and you are
Passion.
very passionate?
I'm very,
Passion.
very passionate about what I do. Very, very. And I refuse to give up, Nandita. If I had to give up, I would have given up when I had my thrombotic attack and when I was lying like a vegetable. So I guess I had lost my speech then, in the sense, for some days. So I still remember when the doctor came and asked me, "Do you want to know what happened?" Because I think my face was kind of disfigured or whatever, because I actually my tongue was broken. I don't know what all happened. I don't remember the episode, but then I still remember in the ICU when the doctor came and asked me, "Are you courageous enough to see your own face?" I said yes, and I still remember. I think I got back my memory then when he showed the mirror, and then I said, I told myself, I need to fight back. I will come back. So that way, I refuse to give up, and since then it's been a very, very hard journey. I would say in 2012, my mother-in-law was diagnosed of cancer. It was a hard battle, but then she fought it through, and then she's blessed with good health now. Immediately after that, my mom was diagnosed of cancer. She fought a very painful battle for 2 years. She succumbed after that. After that, I was breathing and then kind of taking my time, and then coming back to work is when my father-in-law was diagnosed of cancer. And yes, and then he also fortunately is blessed with good health. He kind of came through it. Immediately after that, my dad got diagnosed of cancer. So people who know me and my surroundings know that what we've been through. And my dad went through his treatment. He came back to life. He joined work, and then in 1 month's time, when I was on a holiday, I mean not a holiday, but I was on work with Shweta in Dehradun, is when I get a call that he's had a relapse in the brain. And then the next 3 months, I think the worst time of my life I had is then, when I mean, I'm blessed with a huge network of healthy friends and friendships. And I come from a joint family system. So we have a lot of people holding us together. In spite of that, I was just mute spectator to what he was going through, because beyond a point, I think medical science also can't do much. So we are just rendered helpless. So one day after the other, it was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I know, I mean, I really don't want to recall that. I think it took a huge toll on my health after that, because he was one support system that actually made me what I am today, I would say. And my mom, of course, but then after my mom, I had my dad. So when both of them just went like that, and very early in life, it shook me beyond I could take. And that's when I plunged into clinical depression. Yeah.
So it is, I think, one word that comes to my mind is you are a person who believes in comebacks. I can only say that. And hats off to you, Aparna, because what you're telling me, I'm getting goosebumps listening to it. I'm sure you would have gone through much, much, much more than that. So, with all this happening in your life, and I'm going to ask you, what do you do to keep yourself sane? See, when you went through the depression, that was post, but there is something you would have done on a daily basis to keep yourself grounded so that you can handle the situation, because it is not easy. So, what are some of the things that you did which can help others who are listening to us look at some coping strategies?
So I think one mistake that I did in life is I've never took care of my health or never prioritized me.
Hmm.
It is always others' health and happiness that matter to me more than myself, which is
Hmm.
why the last 10 or 12 years, and I actually had relocated to Kerala to take care of my mom. And then, so each time somebody falls ill, somebody in the, I mean, people who are very close to me falls ill, I am there. I mean, I forget myself. And it took a heavy toll on me, because sleepless nights, and then you just neglect yourself. So when I went through the depression and when I went to the therapist, he said it's accumulated stress and neglect.
Okay.
So whoever is watching this and whoever is listening to our talk, I think the one thing that we need to be very careful about is that we all go through stress. We all kind of fight it out day in and day out, but please take care of yourself. I think I realized it very late in life. And it took me some time, which is why I took that break completely, decided to travel. And then people like, I mean, Balu, then my sisters who are here today, my immediate family, I have a very close knit immediate family and friends who stood by me through thick and thin. And then I think we all should have, I mean, Shweta definitely is one of them, because I pour my heart out to her. And another friend called Robbie, who I kind of share all my emotional difficulties. So you need some I would say bouncing board that way, who you can kind of share things with. That itself helps you a lot. You don't restrict yourself or feel that you fight it alone. I don't think we can fight it at all, which is why we came out with this campaign called Together We Can. If you know of it,
Yes, I was reading
we
about it. I
can.
wanted to talk about it because I want to bring that out now. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Together We Can is a campaign which speaks about how we can all come together, because this pandemic, we know what the world is going through. A lot of people have lost their jobs. People, uncertainty looming large. So don't try to fight it out alone. And then WHO has already warned that the next pandemic perhaps could be depression, anxieties,
Yeah.
and declining mental health. So, as an organization working largely in this space, I thought, why not talk about it where the message is given out loud and clear? And that's when I kind of bounced this idea off to Robbie, who comes from a creative space, and I asked, how can we take this out? So we thought of coming out with films. So these are 15-second films, which says, if you are bottling up your emotions, vent it out, take it out, express. and then bring your people together. So have a system, build a system, or if you know that somebody is fighting it, be there.
Beautiful. So
There are
how
times when I wouldn't even discuss anything, and then my silence could give a message, and then Deepak or Shweta or whoever is closest to me would message after 2 days, all well. That's all you need.
Very true. So you're talking about support systems in terms of friends and family, right? And of course, today we have helpline numbers that are there. And I believe you have also set up a helpline, is what I heard, to for people to reach out to you. I would be very happy if somebody from your team can actually share those numbers so that we can display them here, because I do agree that is the need of the hour. So if I request Deepak or Shweta to do that for us on the page, so that we can display the numbers for everyone to see
I
those.
would do that. Yeah, it's an email
Yeah,
ID pwc@socio.net, and there is a number too, which we would
yeah,
discuss.
I would love that to happen, because I
Sure,
think, and
sure, yes.
also you said very interestingly that you have a very strong system of friends and family, and I think something that keeps you going are your friends. Of course, your family is what I've heard.
Absolutely, absolutely. My son, my
Okay.
partner in crime, Balu Divakaran. I mean, I think his sense of humor is something that helped me come out of my depression. Yeah,
Okay.
and my immediate friends who live close by,
Okay.
physically there, even during the pandemic, who's physically there, like our immediate close friends, family, CG, Simi. I mean, a lot of them actually, Deepak, Robbie. So it is a very close knit, and I have a sister who lives here too, my niece and nephew. So yeah, it's a small big family.
I like that small big family.
Mm.
So, Aparna, I have a friend of yours, okay, who wants to talk about you. And before I bring that friend, I'll introduce that friend to all of you. This friend is an architect, a traveler, a biker, and a completely unorganized, quote unquote, for being who can kill you with his sarcasm. And I did get some demo of that in the last 2 days, to be very honest. And this is for all the viewers who are listening to us. He's a 3 a.m. friend for Aparna, and someone who lives life by his own terms and is literally in every literal and practical sense. That's what Aparna thinks. He's a disorganized person, and this person disagrees. Is that an understatement, Aparna?
Let
Yeah.
us fight it out now.
Okay, so I give this space to this gentleman who will fight it out with you to say whether he's disorganized or not. I'm inviting Deepak Swaminathan here right now, and he is Aparna's 3 a.m. friend. Hi, Deepak. Welcome to the show.
Disorganized? Disorganized? I should stage a walkout just now, right now.
Uh,
See,
mm.
his background is looking so clean. You can see a guitar, you can see a very nice curtain, right? White
I know,
lamp.
I have no
This
clue
is a
what you're talking
perfect
about.
example of how deceit, how what deception is actually. Yeah. If you can
I have
ask
no
him to
clue what you're talking about.
expand. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you can go ahead. Yeah.
So, Deepak, uh,
Yeah,
one word that describes Aparna as a friend.
crazy, crazy.
Crazy. Why do you say
Pretty much.
so?
But half the time she's sick and she keeps running around doing all sort of nonsense. I have a fever. I need to get out of the fever to work on anything. So pretty much crazy. Kind of describes her very well. And
Okay.
loud. And loud. Have you heard her laugh?
No, she didn't laugh because we were talking serious things. That's why we got you in.
You're one of the luckiest persons alive.
Nandita, this is something I keep listening to. There was one instance where last to last week we all went cycling to Carbon Park here.
Ah,
And then the youngest in our team, Ehsan, I mean, if he's listening to this, he would relate to it. And he said, the place is all yours. You can laugh as much as you want. Yeah, so I mean, even in school and college, people used to call me Laughing Yes.
See?
that's a nice name to have, Aparna.
What,
Yeah.
gas? No.
Okay,
Balu
gas.
calls me
No. Okay.
perennial Laughing Yes.
So, Deepak, tell us about something about Aparna which others may not know. which is not there in print media, which is not there in any of her interviews or any of the videos that she's making. And I've also heard she's writing a Malayalam movie. It's not even there.
I mean, half the stuff she does is all bullshit. We have to, counsel her to actually take out pretty much 90% of the stuff she's about to get into. I didn't know her during the time when she got into that ice cream business, so you can, generally gauge. This is something which, see, we agree with most of the stuff which takes her out of the house so that me and Balu, her partner, can have a drink. That's pretty much what happens.
Ah, okay.
So, Nandita, the bottom line is very clear. Had he known me at that phase in life, I wouldn't probably have gotten into ice cream business, is what he meant.
Yeah.
You say 90% of what she does is crazy.
Exaggeration. This is the height of
no exaggeration. She has about let me see, maybe 10 different business ideas per day.
Same page, Aparna.
Creative.
Deepak, you need to move out of the screen now.
Minority, Deepak.
Deepak, see, great minds, interesting women, good, powerful women always think 8 to 10 ideas a day. Ask Shweta, she's always craving another one. Don't give it to me. That's what she'll tell you when I share an idea.
So the difference is.
You're in minority, Deepak.
Even I get like 10 different ideas per day, but I know for sure that it doesn't work. Whereas she wants to do the 10 different ideas. So it's been great for her that I'm around so that she can bounce off the ideas, and then I can I would actually say that this whole social thing is my idea.
Go on air and tell the world that together we can. The act, whatever there. That was coined by Deepak Swaminathan.
Me and Balu. It took us like maybe 30 seconds to come up with it, and we had to use about 30-40 minutes to tell her this works and not the kind of crap she's bringing to the table. So it took about 45 minutes. 45 minutes for us to actually convince her what's a good idea. That would be like.
So do you regret being a friend? Let me ask you that, because that's the message that you're sending across right now.
No,
it's on record.
She thinks I'm a friend. I'm not a friend.
Okay.
So, Aparna, I want to listen
on record.
Balu is a friend of mine. She's unfortunate, collateral in my relationship with Balu. So we have to somehow manage to find a space together where she leaves us in peace. That kind of thing.
Okay, that's really honest.
Whatever I say, I need to make a disclaimer. Whatever I say or said or about to say today can't be used against me for any kind of meals or beverages later on in your house.
Food and beverages, okay?
Food and beverages. But this is on record, and I have given Aparna full permission to use it as and when she needs. Right, Aparna? I'll send the video to you.
That's fine. That's fine. Use it after maybe I have like a couple of drinks. It should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, Deepak, 3 things about Aparna that you think make her who she is today.
Possibly it's all about the craziness. She has tremendous amount of drive and belief in what she jumps into, what kind of stuff she jumps into. That takes care of 2. Third would be some level of commitment as well.
Some level of commitment.
Drive, belief, and commitment.
Drive, belief, commitment. Wow. And why do you
I
say?
should be in some advertising field. I keep thinking about it. The tags they came from. See, remember this.
Perhaps he can be your next guest. Okay.
These three tags which I just gave you is what needs to be remembered.
All my life. All my life.
Nothing else.
Okay, why these 3 tags?
Because of the like, for example, socio and the kind of stuff she does in the academic space. She takes the time, which is good for us, but she takes the time and travels quite a lot of wherever she needs to go to get stuff done. She mentioned Dehradun. She I mean, half the time, I mean, lockdown has been really bad for me and Balu because she can't travel. Uh, Normally, she travels to most places. About 20 days of the month, she's not around.
Yeah, I think this is the first time that I am actually spending so much time with Balu ever since we met like 20 years ago. So, yeah, first time ever, so much of time together.
We have had to visit therapists just to deal with the scenario.
Can you give me the number of that therapist after the session so that we others I can share it for the
Let's
benefit
just
of
bring
all
it
the
to
others?
you people, okay,
Yes, yes,
Deepak?
definitely.
Thank you, Deepak. Deepak, one more question for you. What is the one thing that you want Aparna to change in herself? Yeah, one
I
only,
can,
Deepak.
I mean,
I
I have a list ready,
You
but
will go on and
could
on.
read your mind. That's why I said only one, Deepak.
breathe maybe. Take a time a bit more. That's it.
Okay.
That should actually take care of most of the stuff she wants to do or will be doing later on. Take some time to think over stuff rather than jump and laugh, laugh. Actually, I changed my answer.
Testimony to what I said.
Volume of the laugh needs to come a bit down. That would be great for general humanity. Generally for humanity, that would be great, especially Bangaloreans.
So, for the benefit of Bangalorean, she needs to start breathing.
Breathing and the volume of the laughter.
Okay, that has to reduce.
Hopefully, I mean, hopefully, there must be somebody who can treat her for that.
Any other advice to Aparna as
I don't
a
know if I want you to give me advice.
any other?
That I keep. I mean, currently, these are the primary concerns because within a house or an apartment, four walls. Earlier, she's out most of the time. Now the laughter kind of rings around the room, echoes. I wake up at night, like suddenly jerk and wake up night thinking about this. It's been a really bad 3 4 months.
Okay, Deepak, one last question. Apart from her professional life or, her coming with crazy ideas and all that, what is the one thing that, apart whatever you've said, okay, what's the one thing that you think makes Aparna stand out? And she does stand out. Yeah. And I want a real, something more meteor here.
You're putting me in a spot because you're putting me in a spot because you've already set up the premise that she stands out in a crowd. I have a difference of opinion, but no.
Okay.
Uh, I mean,
As a
what she does,
person, what, yeah, as a person, as a friend, what is the one thing that, yeah, apart from the food and beverages that she sponsors, what is the one thing that,
most of the I think most of the time she genuinely believe that she can help people.
okay.
So she goes out of her way to do a whole lot of stupid stuff, which doesn't necessarily help people, but at least she tries.
Okay. Deepak, my best wishes to you.
I'll send you the number later. Oh, you have my number, so
Yeah, yeah, I have your number and my best wishes to you. So if your food and beverages stop in Bangalore, you can take a detour to Chennai. I will ensure that it comes to you. Okay,
are
that's
you
not a
sure?
problem. Yeah, yeah, that's not a problem. But I'll cook and eating it is your responsibility. That's all.
The invites, these types of invites, I take it very seriously.
Yeah, I know you don't know what trouble you're getting into.
No, 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 no. Don't worry. After eating my food once, you'll never come back to Chennai for sure, Aparna. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you so much for coming in. It was a pleasure having you, and we could hear Aparna laugh. I've heard about her laughter from a lot of people. So thank you for coming in.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye. Okay, so Aparna, that was Aparna as a friend. I also have a lady here with me who says that she started off as a professional with a professional relationship with you some 3 years back. But today she says Aparna is a very dear friend. She's also a trainer with Socio. And in addition, she takes care of Socio up north, where in Dehradun. And
Yeah.
she is equally crazy. So I think people joining social, is that a precondition that people need to be crazy? I'm not saying mentally healthy or unhealthy, but is that a precondition? Is a question before I invite her.
We don't define things, so it would always be good if people have crazy ideas, and we don't want people to be put in a box. So
Craziness is accepted.
yes, socio that way. I love to have people bouncing off ideas onto the table every day, coming up with crazy things. Maybe because I also come from a creative industry, journalism, writing, and we don't have a corporate culture at all. So to say, it's more like a family, extended family kind of a thing. Yes, but Shweta, of late, like I said earlier in the interview, Shweta is one person or my go-to person when I am emotionally, mentally down. Also because she's a therapist herself too.
So before I bring her on, I would like to be associated with social because I am equally crazy, and Shweta can vouch for that any given day. That is why I only waited for you to laugh. Welcome to the
Hi, ladies.
Brandify.
Ladies.
Yes.
How are you doing, Aparna?
Absolutely wonderful.
Wow, good to see you. Yes, Nandita, I heard what you were talking, and now I was thinking that when you said that are the crazy people, a kind of what Aparna forward to have in social. And I was thinking of picking on that, but then you said you would also like to join because you're equally crazy, and I'm supposed to vouch. So I am vouching that Nandita is absolutely crazy, and I'm not going to pick a fight about that.
Thank you. I know that, Shweta, and I get counseled by you on my craziness very often. So I'm using politically correct terms out, right? We are
Let's not spill the beans. Let's talk about Aparna.
That's what I'm saying. Coming woman. Okay. So go back to the first time you met Aparna, and what was the interaction all about? How was it? And tell us what was your first impression about Aparna? Because when I spoke to her for the first time, when I saw her pictures, she came across as a very professional, fun-loving, very, very well-dressed woman to me. And I have a bio report. So apart from that, could you share your views about her?
So I think I got a call 3 years or 4 years back. I have really bad memory, and I had 4 years back. Thank you, Aparna. 4 years back, and it was not Aparna. Someone else called and said that they're looking. I was based in Kerala, Kozhikode that time, and I was asked that they were looking for a trainer, and would I be able to go? And I said yes, and I didn't know who was Aparna. I had no clue about it, and the person said you can go, and I said all right, and I went there, and I met someone else also who was representing Socho at that time, and we did a training program with an oil company in Suratkal, and NIT Suratkal, and a beautiful place. And then this lady is one who's talking to me. I've not seen her face, and she's trying to tell me, you're the only woman, and you're training these middle age. That's why I didn't take the name of the company. So-called uptight people who only thought that women are supposed to listen and take orders and not, stand up on stage and talk about it. And they were giving her weird feedbacks. And the best part was I had never met Aparna, and she had never met me. She stood there with me on the call every day. Every morning we would talk, or every evening after the session we would talk, and she would tell me, okay, this is the feedback I have got, how can we we shared the program, and she said we can do this. And she was there. She knew I was having a tough time. She had never met me, but she never doubted my ability. That is one thing which I felt at that time, and I never shared it with her for that matter. Today I am. She never doubted me. And she was there. She was always there. And I said, okay, whenever you come to Kozhikode, she said, yeah, I keep on coming and we'll meet. And then we met in a coffee shop, my favorite coffee shop downtown. And I think after 2-3 months, something like that. And I just fell in love with her. and I was in love with the voice, and I'm in love with the person she is. I would say professionally also, if you had asked me professionally, so I would say she's extremely focused, amazing. Like she said, she really likes to listen and listen to the ideas, different ideas. I can get up to Aparna one day, and I got up. This is the example, and this happened. I told her, dude, the corona, and I don't know what to do, and I'm feeling this and that. Do you think I should do a theater workshop? She said, yes, let's do it. She said yes. By next day, the poster was ready, and we finished a 1-month workshop on therapy and drama with children from age group of 5 to 9 and 9 to 11, 9 to 13. And the second one is lined up in October. The third phase is in November, and then we have plans to do a workshop in between with the parents. So the way she is, she's very open-minded. She will not push you and say, this is my idea. She's ready to listen. She gives you room to breathe. She gives you room to actually create and be creative in yourself. She herself is an extremely creative woman. So what she does is she kind of, gives you those inspiration, kuti things, small things which you work and you think and you get back. And her ideas are fabulous. For Soshu to come to North and we work and we were trying, things were not working out. She never told me that, oh, I know this, it's not happening, Shweta, so let's shut it. She always said, okay, what can we do better? Her feedback she's never been harsh. I don't know, does she know how to be harsh? I really don't know.
Learn.
Yeah. That's a different thing. Let's not talk about that.
Especially with colleagues. I don't believe in that, actually.
Okay. She doesn't. And it comes through, yeah. 3-4 years of knowing her, I would now I don't see her as somebody who I work with or for, I don't know, or work together. I see her with me, and she always, most amazing thing is, Nandita, she's never hungry for a limelight. She will always, like a true leader, leads you and moves away and gives you the room to fill in. That is what she is, which is very rare, because if you find people taking, the limelight focus from you, they would get insecure. She's very secure in her shoes. And that's most amazing about her as a woman. Okay, now can I say bad things about you?
Yeah, you have to.
It's so nice to someone for such a long time, and I was wondering.
Okay, Nandita, that's not right. Okay, I am nice people. Now you can think.
I've got my feedback. Okay, so Shweta, one thing that you think Aparna should change about herself?
Professionally.
Only one okay. Professionally and personally, because you said you know her in both the spaces. So I'm going to ask her first professionally, and then we'll move to personally. Yeah.
I think what she's doing is fantastic. I think she can dream bigger and bigger and bigger, because the way she thinks is way ahead of our times.
Okay.
She actually, I do see her in 2-3 years winning those international UNICEF, whatever, that kind of award, because she has that in her. She has that, and it reflects in even the smallest of gestures that she does for the colleagues or for the friends. She's selfless, which I love about her. And I think it's okay. It doesn't matter if the professionally people are cutthroat. I would want her to be the way she is, because she is amazing. And when I'm saying this, I'm getting goosebumps, because I think she's a fantastic woman. So I would not want her to change anything, but I would want her to dream bigger, because, sky is not the limit for Aparna. It's not. Whatever she thinks, she can do it. We are there.
Biryani from me, okay, Shweta?
Calicut
biryani, you get a Calicut biryani.
No, we have plans. Yeah, more plans. Biryani is not.
ladies, you should not eat biryani alone. Biryani is
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. I shared biryani with her also. So we have had biryani for breakfast also. Can you beat that?
I can vouch for that.
Yes.
Okay, so one person, yeah,
right? I missed that.
Yeah.
I think she needs to love herself more.
Okay,
Because
when you say that.
She has amazing people around her who love her. But I think she is miser in loving herself.
Okay.
I don't know.
I started.
Yeah, I'm waiting and watching. So I still think you can do better, but I appreciate the steps you have taken because I see her fabulous. Yeah, I don't know why she doesn't believe that she's fabulous. She will believe for 1 minute and then she will flip and then everything is all over.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question to both of you, which has also been coming in from our viewers also, and something I believe. Do you think, and I put it to Aparna and you, Shweta, because you being from the psychology background and Aparna being getting the feedback, do you think it's a very woman thing to, again, Aparna, I know you don't believe in gender discrimination or gender, this thing, but...
You're wrong person, you're asking that question. You have to
I tell you why I'm asking, because now you're working with inclusion and you're working with a lot of people and you've worked, at different stratas of society with people, right? So there can be one particular group which is, maybe because of our upbringing or something, we don't feel discriminated. But do you think, it's not a women thing to feel low at times, to feel, doubting your own abilities because of societal pressure, because of family issues. So somewhere you start feeling, hey, I'm not good enough. Is it something like that?
Professionally, we come across more men. If you have to actually talk about gender, then we come across more men who doubt, their abilities and capabilities. And in that respect, I would say women are far better. Yeah, they hardly doubt themselves. When Shweta asked, rather reflected on how I should start loving myself, it also, if you can actually go back to the conversation that I had, I always give importance to the next person or the person next to me.
Always.
And their well-being. Yeah. So which is what I said. I learned it the hard way. And then I'm learning it, still. So, but yes, I have come a long way and I still have a long way to go to actually become a little more centered about my well-being. But otherwise, I love myself. I really love myself. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
I think it takes a lot of courage to love yourself, and also Aparna, to give the limelight away. It talks about how grounded you are. It also talks about your leadership style, because it takes a lot. It is a true leader only who can actually go and give the credit and the limelight to somebody else, because in today's world, everybody, and I am into personal branding, and Shweta hears stories from me, I think every day, where people literally fight it out to get the 2-minute or 2-second thing, I did it kind of stuff, and I deal with it every single day. So I know what people do to do that.
What Socio is because of a collective effort, right? Now, if I say that I own Socio and whatever Socio does on ground is only because of me, then I'm a failure, biggest failure, isn't it? As an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a teacher and facilitator. So, it's together we can and we should, and we've been doing that. So yeah, it's always about coming together. And if Shweta's in the last program of Shweta's has been a runaway success, storytelling and drama therapy session for children, and it was a trial run that we did in terms of, we never knew how children would take it, but she believed in that. And then if I don't believe in her capabilities, then I better not be associated with her, isn't it? So I give that, and I told her, it's all yours. We do the marketing and we do the pitching and we take care of all the back-end support system. But then front ending is Shweta, and I see the messages that come in the groups and the feedback from parents. She's done an amazing job. And if that is, and Socio gets that name, it's because of Shweta. It's not because of Aparna, because eventually the on-ground execution was done by her.
But Nandita, did you notice? I'm sorry. Did you notice she again did not take the credit completely?
What I'm talking about, it talks about
how she, because, I called her and told her this, And she said, okay. She said, what are we going to do? She didn't, I just generally told her this, and she didn't even ask me about the program. She said, you have all the support. And I said, please let me know.
You have Shweta and your team members and your people who work with you, because otherwise you cannot grow. Because if you start micromanaging and start doing everything yourself, again, from a perspective that I work with people and I see if I have to micromanage, I lose out on a lot of, and she is a creative person. So I think she's more of a thinker and a strategy person than actually going ahead and doing it. So I can completely relate. And something, I want to bring to both your notices. I'm reading a book which is right in front of me. Maybe it's just time to be, which is called Give and Take by Adam Grant. And Aparna, I would recommend, and I know you'll read a lot. I've heard that also. Pick up this book and read. It talks about characteristics of givers. And they said in the initial phases, givers may feel that they've not gained something. But in the long run, it's only givers who are achievers. So I see you as a true giver because I've heard so many stories about you. So fantastic, Shweta. Thank you for bringing
when you end your day and when your head hits the pillow, I am grateful to one thing, that maybe because I'm a people person, there isn't anyone who's holding grudge against me in my professional space. And people who have been with us in our company and who've moved out because of better prospects have always told us, whenever you need and whenever you can afford us, we will definitely want to come back. And I think that makes me believe in what I am doing. And I do not want that to change. And there are people who are still in our social WhatsApp group who've left the company. So, yeah. So it's all about being transparent. Yeah.
Nandita, she's not just saying it. I've heard so many people talk like this, but act differently. She's not just saying it. She's actually doing it. And if there is something she would, connect and, clear it out or whatever it is. There is a lot of integrity when she stands. And when Sosho is there, whether it's Aparna or Sosho or a Sosho or Aparna, the company stands for integrity. Whatever that we offer in the market or whatever we bring, whether it's a training program or whether it's in, a campaign, there's a lot of integrity, which is amazing. I'm sure she spoke about that Matrabhumi's program on what we are planning to do. I don't know whether she spoke or not, but everything has got integrity. It makes you feel proud to be associated. And these are not just words. So I think people who are listening who really, really want to do something in life, call Aparna, because she is the one who would really probably help you find a ground. Yeah, probably help you find yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Shweta. Thank you so much for adding a different perspective to Aparna. Thank you. And yeah. Okay. In a minute, what is the Matrabhumi project all about? I've heard about it. I was reading on Facebook. I think something very exciting coming up. So I just wanted to talk.
I started a column with them. I think that was one of my dad's biggest dreams, to actually see my name in the editorial page of a publication. And finally that happened. I write in English, so they translate it and then put it out in Malayalam. Yeah, so it's a close association where we're starting off with programs, with online digital programs, where we would have a close interaction with the readers and audience on what is happening on ground, and we take the inputs and then design programs on ground. So it is like coming together again, where Socio has identified our ecosystems on ground in different cities and different states, where whatever inputs we get, so it's more like a buddy system. We've trying to kind of frame that word buddy system. You be a buddy and then you also have a buddy kind of a thing. And then we have partnered with a media organization because, Matrabhumi is a big name. And then, so there is a lot of credibility attached, and then you can reach out to a larger audience, which has just begun. The first column is out. The second column will come out in a week's time. And then the digital platform, we are planning to go live from next week. So that has given me a lot of exposure and reach, because last week been flooded with calls and inputs from people writing to us about things. So yeah, it's been a great platform for me, a launch pad for me in terms of reaching out to a larger audience. And I also think socio branding, in terms of branding, socio coming together with a name that has been in the market for decades or centuries, adds a lot.
Beautiful. Wishing you all the best for this initiative.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And now we come to the last part of this interaction, which is a rapid fire round. Aparna.
Do I get a hamburger after that?
Yeah, biryani.
I'm not a biryani person like Shweta.
I have. But share biryani with you, no?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll come to Bangalore, we'll have the biryani together.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Okay. So you need to answer one word or max two words, and they need to be quick. Okay. I'm going to
I'll try.
shoot the questions at you. Okay. Who inspires you?
My son.
Aparna Vishwanath in 3 words.
Passionate. Bold.
Okay.
Fire.
Beautiful. One song or quote that sums up your life.
I read a lot of Osho. He's a very favorite person of mine. So couple of things that I can relate to from what he has said is, see, this is completely my experience. Okay, life starts where fear ends. So yeah, I think whenever I've feared, it is a different Aparna in the exterior. So whenever I've been fearless, it's been me. And then I mean, connecting it to what Deepak and Shweta said, I think I have to start loving myself to feel complete. So I think he's also said that. I mean, the time that you start loving yourself is when you become beautiful. Yeah. So I think life starts where fear ends. I've lived at least I've been very, very fearless. And I give a damn about what people talk about me. That's something that I've always lived. Yeah. My dad has always told me that never listen to, or if you believe in yourself, please go ahead.
Awesome. One thing that you want to undo in your life.
Many things.
One.
Undo. It's a very difficult question. Yeah, I think I started 2 organizations, two enterprises, which when I look back, I didn't want to actually connect myself to it at any level. And that's something that I can't undo, but I wish I could.
One thing you want to change in yourself.
I need to slow down. And I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yes, because I always start my day with a to-do list, and my gratification end of the day is to see that tick mark in that to-do list. And I go to bed with a to-do list, because then I am comfortable that I know I have prioritized things. I know what I have to do the next day. So that way I'm very meticulous and kind of disciplined and organized. Sometimes it is good, sometimes it's very bad. And people who know me know my OCD too. So that's something that I really want to cut down on, my obsessive compulsive disorder.
Okay. Your favorite pastime?
If I'm not reading, I watch dance videos. So if I hadn't become an entrepreneur, I would have probably become a dancer, because that's something that is very, very close to my heart.
And what kind of dance, if I may ask?
So I learned Bharatanatyam for the longest, for about 12 years. And then I moved, and then it's always been my dream to learn Kathak, because way back in 80s, you only have Doordarshan and you watch these chakkas then. So the first instance when I got the chance to learn after moving to Bangalore, I learned Kathak. But then post my thrombotic attack, and when I still have issues when I have to do chakras, and also I stopped and moved to ODC. So right now, trying to, but yes.
Wow. That's awesome.
That keeps me going. I think very, very passionate about dance.
Beautiful. Legacy that you want to leave behind.
Oh my God. That's a very hard question. I think I'm nowhere to leave a legacy behind, but I think if one person gets inspired to live life the way they want, not fearing other persons or other I mean, there are a lot of people who can pull you down, right? So that is one thing. And two is I've never I've never thought uh, of myself as a girl or a woman when I did anything. So if you can cross that barrier of gender inside your head and then just believe in your capacities, uh, yeah, I think that that's something that I really want people to kind of come out of the gender disparity in their heads. Because Nandita, when I go for my classes, there are girls who come up to me and say, I really want to do that, ma'am, but end of the day, I'm a girl. And that actually irks me. I mean, and 60%, and it's a huge figure, 60% of girls, and girls, when I say girls, they fall in the category of like in the age group of 16 to 22. And if they strongly believe in themselves that because they are a girl, they can't achieve anything, or because they are a girl, it's a road or stumbling block in their creativity or in their thinking or thought process, you're done then.
I agree. It's sad. It's
So
sad,
I,
honestly.
I really do not appreciate any questions wherever I go, whenever I'm being interviewed as to what is your take on being a woman entrepreneur? I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, woman is just my identity.
So in fact, I do sessions in corporates, Aparna, which I say walking on the glass ceiling with your heels. And a lot of people say, no, breaking the glass ceiling. I said, there is no glass ceiling. It's in your head.
Absolutely, it's in your head.
It's in your head. And the day you break it in your head, you can walk
A
with still.
lot of people within my immediate family also think that I do not walk or live as per the standards of a woman. So my mom has always told me there isn't anything that defines a person inside a cubicle called woman. So this is a message to all my people who are listening to me. I will not. That's about me. I will not. I don't believe in that.
So thank you so much, Aparna, for coming in. I had heard about you from a couple of people. Yes, I had gone through your Facebook before bringing you on. And when I was talking to you the last couple of days, I felt I'm talking to another me. So thank you for giving me, it just feels very good when somebody echoes a lot of you. So you're feeling, yes, you're on the right path. So thank you so much for coming. And I
I
had a
should thank you, Nandita, because I think this is the first time I'm going live with my personal journey. It's always Socio's work that spoke for myself or spoke about me. This is the first time I'm actually talking about the struggles, the personal struggles I've had, and the falls that I've consciously or unconsciously made in life. And I think those things need to be told more from a personal journey perspective, because people can relate to them more than your success stories. So thank you for giving me the platform to share my stories. And it's been a wonderful 1 hour session, because I don't think I even it's been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. Thank you to Deepak and Shweta, yeah, for bringing that side of me, which perhaps I never thought of. Yeah.
Thank you so much and all the best for
You
ventures.
too. Yes.
Yeah. Take care.
Absolutely
Bye-bye.
wonderful. You have a lovely evening. Yeah.